Why have the Northern Irish been historically targeted, written out of their own constitution, marginalised and discriminated against, in their own country? To explore the reasons for the discrimination of the Northern Irish, we need to look at the statistics, how they are collected and how they are manipulated to gaslight the Northern Irish out of their identity. There are two ways of looking at Northern Ireland statistics, which will result in very different outcomes. The first method is to look at historical population surveys of national identity, or census results of the Northern Irish. This method gives a complete picture of all citizens, with any inaccuracies averaged out over time. We will call this method population surveys. The second method is to look at polling results in elections, which is the preferred method of politicians and media wanting to gaslight the electorate. A massive portion of the population, usually the disenfranchised Northern Irish, only voting when they are directly affected, or an important issue is at stake, is totally omitted in this method. We will call this method polling statistics, the gaslighter's choice, because of the Northern Ireland Constitution. In spite of decades of being targeted, marginalized, brutalized by violence and their identity and history gaslighted into oblivion, by Republicans and the British, the Northern Irish identity is in the ascendancy once again, growing each year as people realize the extent of the persecution they have suffered, and where their best interests actually lie. The Northern Irish historically, in the last 2 decades, have accounted for between 30% and 50% of the population of Northern Ireland in population surveys, progressively increasing over this period, only interrupted and reduced by the various gaslighting campaigns and emotional hysteria, generated deliberately during the Brexit campaign. People previously gaslighted into identifying as British, are starting to react to how they are being treated by the British, as well as the living conditions of our southern neighbours, while also starting to see how it actually plays into the hands of Republican gaslighting. People gaslighted into supporting Republicanism are also starting to notice the large number of working-class immigrants from the Republic, the exodus of the Republic's population, the large number of Republic citizens using the North for shopping and services, the cost of living in the Republic, the inequality, the many housing issues and the healthcare costs. In addition, the sorry state of the 3 Ulster counties in the Republic is really sad. No industry, no investment, no railroads, no airports, no motorways, broadband in a sorry state, and whole counties turned into holiday home parks. In the 2021 census, Northern Irish only, 376,400 people or 19.8% of our population, or in total with other designations, 598,800 people, 31.5% of the population. As the Northern Irish are the least inclined to vote, because of a total lack of representation, this causes a mismatch between population surveys and polling statistics, which in turn is used to gaslight the status of the Northern Irish unification support. The Alliance Party is the closest match for a Northern Irish voter, as it claims to be non-aligned, but the accuracy of that status is highly suspect, so it does not command full support. Unionists and nationalists, though, are the ones to slug it out ad nauseum, in a biased media-induced frenzy, over their respective 31% and 29% cut of the national identity, in population surveys, with absolutely no mention of the Northern Irish. In the 2021 census, British only, 606,300 people or 31.9% of our population. Irish only, 554,400 people or 29.1% of our population. The total number of people identifying as either British and Northern Irish, or Irish and Northern Irish, or British, Irish and Northern Irish is up from 149,300 people in 2011 to 213,000 people in 2021. There has also been an increase in the number of people who identify as Irish and Northern Irish, up from 19,100 in 2011 to 33,600 in 2021, and in those who identify as British, Irish and Northern Irish up from 18,400 in 2011 to 28,100 in 2021. This is the increase that the Republicans and a very biased Northern Ireland media accredit to a Republican success. Growth in people identifying as Northern Irish, and a small Republican boost, because of Brexit, and the Alliance Party support, creating a gaslighting frenzy but no new records. Wow, some Republican victory. Compared with the organic Northern Irish growth, no campaign, no media attention, no gaslighting, no sensationalizing, no helping hand from proxy parties, and totally consistent for decades, growth in a native identity that the population is not allowed to declare in its political institutions, that has been violently suppressed by the Republican movement, is not even recognized by the Republic of Ireland. The British and Republic of Ireland seem to have resurrected the campaign started with the Ulster plantations, to remove both the Ulster state and identity from Ireland. Ulster is, and always has been, an independent state, existing many centuries before being invaded by the British. Denying its citizens the right to identify with their past, is discriminatory in the extreme. Integrating the Northern Irish identity into a generic Irish identity is to perpetuate an Irish Republican gaslighting trope, that Ulster was always part of Southern Ireland. Historical rubbish. But then the Northern Irish history has been gaslighted beyond recognition. That is what Republicans do, to justify their colonial, or expansionist ambitions. The only suitable non-sectarian, political party that the Northern Irish can currently vote for, is the Alliance Party of Northern Ireland, which would now appear to be a false flag proxy party, for the Republican movement, initially set up or later infiltrated, to attract and deceive Northern Irish voters that would never vote for a violent Republican Party, let alone unification, into voting for measures that would facilitate unification, potentially even unification itself. Their actual aims are diametrically opposed to the way the party present themselves, but also to what their supporters' aspirations are. This is a deliberate tactic, to prevent the Northern Irish from creating an effective democratic base for their own ambitions in Ulster, and subvert the normal democratic process. Yet another tactic, in the Republican campaign to eradicate the Northern Irish existence. If the silent 50% that identify as Northern Irish, and make up the Northern Irish community, would like to maintain their lifestyle, culture, history and heritage, it's time they embraced their heritage and get politically organized. The enemies of Ulster believe they have victory in their sights, which is why they are getting so excited.